Welcome back to the special end of the year edition of Switch to Linux. We're not actually going to be talking too much about Linux, more about this channel. So first I want to say thank you very much for everybody that has come by, watched the videos, subscribed, commented, liked, even disliked, all that kind of stuff. That's kind of great. I kind of started this out just to see, a lot of it just a learning tool for me, force myself to get learning and learn how to do some basic practical things in Linux, and it's worked out great. I have learned a ton. Prior to this, I was a web developer. I didn't do a whole lot in audio and in video. I had to go figure out what types of web cameras to get, and what types of microphones to get, and stuff like that. I'm learned how to build build videos, and I've learned how to use software I would not have otherwise learned. Learned about various distros that I might not have gone and experimented with from watching other people's videos or looking at DistroWatch, just seeing kind of what's out there. So this channel has helped me learn in many ways like that, and I hope that it has also inspired you to go out and learn, particularly if you're still using a captive operating system and you do not realize that you can change. Look at switching to a different operating system, particularly a Linux type system, where you have a whole lot more control over your computer. And it's not all that hard. I mean, a long time ago, Linux might have been for people that were computer geeks. Now it's really not. It's anybody can get in there and get an install going, and maybe you just need help installing the system, and then once you're done with that, then we'll be good from there. So a little bit about the stats. So I actually created the channel back in July just to start putting up the content and seeing how things would work. And it took me a couple months to get the website at switchedtolinux.com working properly. If you have not checked out that website, there are fabulous articles to accompany many of the videos. I started out wanting to do an article on every video, but really the videos is what brings people into the content, not the articles nearly as much. And so I still do extensive articles with the Tinfoil Hat Time series, and I have on those all of the resources, all of the references, and basically a lot of new resources. And I hope to do some more different things with the website coming up to this upcoming year. But since we started, I actually made the channel public, I want to say it was around October 7th, and that is based upon the fact going from 0 views to almost 50 views pretty much instantaneously. But since that time, we have really had a lot of fascinating. Looking to change something on a computer so I can show you what the stats look like, but I need to cover something. I'm trying to remember. I'm on my Surface computer trying to remember which button I need to push to cause my full screen to go. Hey, there it goes. All right, that's what I was looking for. All right, so from the stats here that you're seeing, see if this will load up there. There you can see the stats are going up. I'm not doing any screen recording right now, but you can see that the channel, since I pushed it up live, has just been launching and kind of going crazy. And I have you to thank for that. That is some fabulous stats right there. And I'm actually going to shut this computer down now. I just want to show you the stats because the battery's about dead. So there's that. So since that time, we've had 65 subscribers. We had 5,414 views, 22,157 minutes watched, and this video is going to be the 76th video. Actually, I think the 75th. One of those is a client's video that's up there to show them how to do something, and I haven't moved it to my other site name yet. So that's a little bit about how we're doing. So looking ahead into the future, well, we are going to continue doing the Tinfoil Hat Time series. It's not my most watched series, but it's certainly one of the ones that gives me the most enjoyment. If you have not watched a Tinfoil Hat Time series, come by and check it out. I forgot to grab my hat prior to starting the video, but here is my tinfoil hat. I tried a lot of different variations of the hat. I started with a hat that kind of looked like the one that Weird Al wears on the video for Foil. I looked at a tinfoil baseball cap. I looked at what kind of looked like a little Jewish hat there. I finally settled on this because, frankly, Fedora is a great operating system, and we're talking about tinfoil hats on a Linux channel. What else can you run but a tinfoil Fedora? So, the Tinfoil Hat Time series, if you've not watched one of those episodes, is where I get into kind of my reasons why I'm a privacy advocate, a lot of the misbehavior that you encounter in the world, and really, that series is why I switched to Linux. I switched to Linux because when I first saw Windows 10 come out with their data collection and all that kind of stuff, it scared the bejeebers out of me. And the sad thing is I think the Windows operating system is a great operating system. Even Windows 10 is pretty cool. There's a lot of things I don't like about it, obviously, but because of all the data collection, and you get data collection in the Microsoft, you get data collection in the Apple environment, because of all of that data collection, I switched over to Linux for most of my computer systems because I don't want these companies collecting all this data for whatever nefarious purposes they may have in mind. And I just live by that philosophy. I'd rather you not have my data than rather you have it, even if you're, quote, using it for a better user experience. So that's the Tinfoil Hat Time series. It really talks about the things that companies do that make me kind of go, I don't know. And I'm also open to any suggestions anybody in the community has to things to look at. Sometimes people have suggested things I never even thought of. I dive into it. I literally spend a few days or a few hours at least, usually a few days doing the research, a few hours writing the article. Then I do the video, and then I publish the video and the article in the accompanying notes. So the first and most popular Tinfoil Hat Time series is why Windows 10 privacy pushed me to Linux. So you can look that up on the channel. There's also a playlist containing all of the Tinfoil Hat Time episodes. There are 10 of them. I've covered things like Windows privacy. I've covered backporting the Windows telemetry into Windows 7 and Windows 8. I talked about Apple, and I don't know what Apple's doing right now, but they're kind of doing crazy stuff. So I talked about them a little bit. And then we talked about some general privacy rules. We talked about, I think it was Yahoo was working on this format where they were going to basically grabbing data from a whole bunch of different places in order to conglomerate, basically make this thing that almost acted like that advertising system in the movie Minority Report. It'd see who's coming on and push ads to local billboards as you're passing by, targeted specifically to you. That's scary stuff. I talked about that in one of these Tinfoil Hat Time episodes. I actually pulled out the patents and read through the patents and had a discussion. So if you've not checked out a Tinfoil Hat Time episode, go check out a Tinfoil Hat Time episode. They are pretty cool. The last couple had some more political things to it, coming out of the weirdest election we've ever seen. But you can see what I did there. We also plan on doing some more distro reviews. So some of the distro reviews I do in virtual boxes because it seems to work. Some of them I will actually install on a device so I can test them out. And there's advantages and disadvantages of each. But the cool thing about Linux is I can install an entire Linux distro on this. In fact, the Linux distro where I was opening up spam on Windows 10 the other day was all done on this. This is a USB drive running OpenSUSE with the Enlightenment desktop with a VirtualBox running Windows 10, and I can plug this into any computer and run it. Of course, you want to make sure you have enough system resources in that computer to run 2 operating systems. But that's the power of Linux, is I can install something on one of these as a distro review. And one of the first distro reviews I'm going to attempt to do this year is I'm going to look at the Ubuntu 17 on the daily build release. And if it's anything like the 16 release, it's going to work great. Because at my main Ubuntu computer, I actually ran that thing on Ubuntu in alpha, like pre-alpha mode for a long time. I was running that thing on daily builds and I never had any problems at all. Well, at least until the actual official release came out. That's the only time I encountered problems. Go figure. But we're going to look at the daily build. Ubuntu features a new Unity desktop. I have not even had a look at it. I just downloaded the file today. It is the 12/31 daily release. When I get it installed, I'm going to run the updates, and I'm going to see if I can get some video recording. Worst case scenario, I point my web camera at a screen and we do some video, and that seems to work fine anyway. So we're going to do that. I want to get into more practical Linux. How have I used Linux on things like Raspberry Pis to do things like, VPNs. Literally, I take this Raspberry Pi. If I leave the house, I'm going to be gone for a few days. I turn on the security cameras that you see, and those, I have them blocked access from the outside. You cannot just view those. You can't view those from a basic internet connection. So I plug the Raspberry Pi into the router, turn this guy on, and now I can connect via an OPN, an Open VPN network to this system to be on my portable, to be on my in-house network, so I can view all my security cameras and I can interchange different files. So I'll talk about some practical Linux tips, how I created media centers and NAS drives and things. Let me know the types of things that you want to see first. So we're going to do some practical Linux. I'm going to be working on the overall video production quality. Hopefully it's getting a little bit better. I'm still working with some of the lighting. I'm recording the video during the day, and so I was experimenting with different lighting today, so I look a little washed out in the preview here. But that has a lot to do with the fact it's daytime, and I actually open up the curtains a little bit, just kind of getting a little bit of testing going. In fact, I can probably, the cool thing about the program is I install it now after I got the new kernels installed, is I can actually adjust my colors and stuff on set. That's actually looks a little bit better. Okay. So we're going to be working on the overall video quality. I got a mic now, so hopefully that will help the sound quality improve a little bit. My web camera is still using the same Logitech camera that I've used, which does a pretty good job. Sorry, I can't afford a $1,000 4K camera or anything, but the webcam's going to have to do. But I am slowly putting together a PC component which blows this system out of the water, so to speak. So hopefully when I get that running, I'll have even better video quality off of that. Collaborations? I'd love to do any collaborations. If anybody is starting out a YouTube channel or on the Linux world and wants to do any collaborations, any back and forth discussions, I'd love to get someone else in every now and again. If you're open to that idea, shoot me a line in the comments or something, and we'll see what we can do. And next is, I'd like to potentially dabble with live streaming. I'm not completely sure what exactly I might do with live streaming. Maybe do distro reviews on live streaming as an initial first test. I don't know. But anyway, the channel is growing well, and I thank you all for that. And I've had a great time. I hope you've had a great time. And right now, I just want to tell everybody, have a happy new year, and I hope your 2017 is a great one.